How to rise above fear, power, and control. Hi, I am your host, Piper Sky Cheyenne, and welcome back to Rebuild Reality, where, of course, as always, we talk about who we really are, why we're here, and how all of this stuff works. So I really wanted to hit on this subject because I know that, this is probably the biggest thing that's happening in the world today. And when we actually think of it, it's been a big thing for, I'm pretty sure, the history of mankind, and that's fear, power, and control. Well, obviously we're seeing this big rise up of this that we've all been involved in for a number of years now. And it's kind of freaking people out, understandably, So what do? How do we deal with this? How do we not fall into the freak out and be a victim of all of this mass manipulation and stuff? Well, we recognize this, that anyone who needs your power, anyone who needs to control you, is scared. Because otherwise, why do they need your power? Why do they need to control you? Don't they realize they've got power of their own? Well, obviously not. Obviously, they don't realize that the world is not as it appears. Not at all. There are two worlds here. There is the world of man, the world of Caesar, some people call it, where you have to push and fight and struggle for everything you want, and it's the survival of the fittest and king of the mountain and winner takes all. Well, it's not a very pleasant world to live in. But those people don't know about the other world, the true world, the world of our Creator, the world of Source, the world of God, or whatever you want to call it. If we're going to talk about power and control, that's where it's at. The rest of this stuff, that's nothing. How could that ever compete with the power that creates worlds? It couldn't possibly. Which is why when we're aligned with that power, the true one and only power, because let's face it, really, that is just to this. So when we're aligned with this, when we're in sync with that, when we believe in that, when that is our world instead of that, when we believe in this instead of that, and we make this one real and that one nothing at all, then things change. Because anyone who needs your power, well, that is an automatic declaration to the entire universe that they see themselves as powerless. And as we know, the universe gives you who you see yourself as, what you see yourself as worthy of, what you're afraid of, etc. It gives it to you. So that's why they're in this perpetual spiral where they're more and more and more scared of the other guy, and of people and of everything around. I need bigger weapons and I need bigger guns and I need spaceships and blah, it's like, wow. They're like little kids that are like freaking out, It's because they're scared. They're frightened. Otherwise, you'd never do those things, So to me, they're like little children who are afraid of the dark, who are afraid that they're going to die because they don't know that they're infinite beings, that they've always been here, that they've always existed, and just like you, always will. So they're lost in the story. They're lost in the illusion. And for that, they make themselves liable. They make themselves vulnerable to the rules of that world. Whereas the rest of us can live by the rules of our Heavenly Father, of Source, of God, where true power, where true control lies. Because really, if out there is just a reflection of in here, then how do we change it? Making that story nothing. Making it nothing. It doesn't matter. What seems to be the biggest, scariest monster in the world, it's like the kid who's afraid of when you're a little kid and you're afraid of things under the bed or in the closet, you're just like losing it. But when you find out at the end of the day, there was nothing really there at all. And it's just like this. Because we don't need them to protect us, them to keep us safe or anything else. Not when you got that. Not when you've got God within you. And you're the child of that. You are the offspring of that. So how well would you be protected when you recognize that? I would say quite a bit. So for them, I feel sorry for them. That they're in that state of mind where they're that scared. But for us, let's stay in love. Let's stay in power. Let us stay in control. Let us stay in logic and what is true and what makes sense. Because when we are together and not apart and not fighting against each other, because who are we fighting against? We'd be fighting against ourselves. If everyone is you pushed out, like Neville Goddard says, who are we fighting against? We don't change the story out there or the struggle and strife. We just change it in here. And then everything changes. There is nothing beyond our ability to change that is out there. War, poverty, starvation. Can we change it all? Yeah. Especially collectively. There would be no contest. There would be no contest. It'd be like the hippies in the 1960s, in the United States. And they were like, yeah, we're just going to go, drop out of society. We're going to start our own thing. And government freaked out. They're like, we have to put an end to this thing, because they were saying instead of being like, ooh, you have to do this, you have to do that, and the boogeyman, they were just like, yeah, see you later, dude. And that's really pretty much what we should do here. See you later, dude. I got my own life. I got my own vision. And within me, just like within God, is the power that creates worlds. And that's why you don't need to be afraid. Because you can rise above fear, power, and the control of the entire universe. Because it is nothing compared to you. Because it's just a little part of you. You're even bigger than that. So I hope that helps. I am, of course, your host, Piper Sky Cheyenne. And thank you for being here at Rebuild Reality. And I really appreciate that you guys, come by to see me. And that you like, that you subscribe, that you share, and all of that stuff that you comment is lovely. So thank you. Thank you for being who you guys are. Amazing. And I will see you next time here on Rebuild Reality.